What is going on? What it do, everybody? Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Welcome back to another ASMR NBA discussion video. Now today I got some fire for you, man. Some pressure. I think it's a good concept. We're gonna be grading every playoff series from the first round. Now this video I want it to be not too long, so I'm only gonna do the West, and then I'm gonna do the East in my next video, and then the third video will be the entire second round. Now we're gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna grade each series. I'm gonna give 2 to 3 takeaways from each series, and then I'm gonna do something called the player of the round from each conference. A player from each conference who stood out in each round. Now, like I said, it's only gonna be the first round, so let's get to it, man. Our first series, we're gonna head over west, talking about the Pelicans versus the Thunder. Now, I actually thought this series would be interesting, but unfortunately the best player on the Pelicans got injured and he was balling. He dropped 40 on the Lakers. It looked like he was about to be special in these playoffs, but that did not happen. Now, I actually wanted the Kings to make it because I think the Kings had a better chance to beat the Thunder in 7 compared to the Warriors or the Pelicans, but they did not make it past the play-in. But I thought I was really going to pick the Kings in 7 because I thought Sabonis would abuse Shet, and I thought De'Aaron Fox's experience would outmatch Shea, you know what I'm saying? So I thought the Kings had the best chance, but they didn't make it. Alright, so my takeaway from this was just that the Pelicans didn't have enough. When Zion went down, they didn't have enough consistent scoring. The turnovers were terrible. They, at some points, it looked like they were getting a turnover on every possession. And then my third takeaway is, I don't know if Brandon Ingram will ever be a true superstar. Unfortunately, he has the talent to be a top 15, top 10-ish player, especially in the future when a lot of the 2010 superstars retire. But I don't know, man. When I'm saying I don't know if it's just like a lack of defense or a lack of effort or not enough leadership from him, but he can't take over a game. He can't take over a series. He can score a lot. I've seen him average 30, put up some pretty good stat lines in the postseason before. He's a versatile player, but I don't know if he's ever going to be in a situation where he could dominate. So, I don't know, man, but the Thunder was just too much. Shea was just so efficient getting to his spots. He was the most clutch player in the series. CJ McCollum, where the hell was that guy in the closeout games? But, alright, let's move on to the second series. We have the Mavericks facing the Clippers. I had to make sure I read it right. And look at the Thunder, not the Thunder, the Timberwolves sneaking in at the bottom. And don't you worry, I will talk about my glorious kick. No, I'm kidding. But we will talk about Anthony Edwards, aka Baby Jordan, in the Timberwolves in just a second. Now, back to the our second matchup. Alright, so I thought this would be the best matchup of the entire playoffs. I thought this would be the best matchup of the first round, definitely, and it definitely was not. As you probably could have figured, Kawhi got injured once again in the postseason. Who would have thought? I actually did not expect it because he had done so well in the postseason. In the regular season, not getting injured, not trying to do load management. I don't know why he got injured. That's just unfortunate, man. But I will give this series a C+ or a B-. I'm thinking one of those. I'm thinking closer to a B-, but C+, B-. It could have been an A, but like I said, Kawhi was out. Now this series was pretty good. James Harden had a couple games where he looked like prime James Harden, if you will. But at the end of the day, if you pick the Clippers to beat the Mavericks, you let the media fool you. All that talk about Paul George and Kawhi and how Russell Westbrook was going to be such an energizer bunny off the bench, which he was. Norman Powell didn't do nearly as much as I thought he would. I thought Norman Powell would be the X factor of this series, but he was pretty much a no-show. Well, maybe not a no-show, but he wasn't as impactful as I thought he could have been. But yeah, this series just did not live up to expectations. I thought this was going to be, like I said, the best matchup because it would have been PG, Kawhi, Kyrie, Luka, good role players. I just expected like a 6 or 7 game series. And just like the Battle of LA, we never got it, unfortunately. So it is spooky. But yeah, man, Paul George can't lead a team by himself. Like, I don't know what you're expecting. They needed another shot creator, someone to take the pressure off of Paul George. But Dallas, man, you gotta give credit. Kyrie was picking his spots. He was doing his thing. Alright, now let's get to the main attraction, the main event, man. This is what's crazy is I actually picked the Timberwolves to lose this series. I picked the Suns in 7 and 7. I picked the Suns in 7. If I had to give this series a grade, well, you guys know I'm an Ant-Man fan, so it was a freaking A+ for me. This was an A+ series. I told you, the teams and player stands that only benefited from these playoffs were Anthony Edwards fans and Timberwolves fans, Celtics fans, Knicks fans, Jaylen Brown fans, and Jalen Brunson fans. That's it. But yeah, Anthony Edwards just whooped their ass. Anthony Edwards legit whooped their ass, man. 1v3. Oh, man, my bad. 2v3. Because they have Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels. So Jaden McDaniels was a participant. He was very good. He had a few 20-point games. We'll get into Jaden McDaniels in a second. But let's just talk about how the mantle was passed. The torch was passed from KD to Anthony Edwards. That was special. He claimed the best shooting guard spot in the NBA, in my opinion. The athleticism, the defense, the consistency, the efficiency in his shooting. It's ridiculous what this man did at 22 to go up against two future Hall of Famers and Bradley Beal. That sounds so disrespectful to Bradley Beal, but it's true. But Bradley Beal, I don't think Bradley Beal's gonna get in either great score or a really good score, but I can't do that. But it was just impressive, man. Now on to Jaden McDaniels. They have KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels. I feel like this is the biggest leap in Jaden McDaniels' career in terms of his trajectory of becoming a star player. I think next season he'll have his best season coming off of multiple 20-point games in the postseason and being probably the second best defensive player in the playoffs after Drew Holiday and maybe Derek White if you want to go there. But besides that, man, I just don't see too many defenders messing with Jaden McDaniels, man. I don't see too many defenders in his class as good as an on-ball defender as Anthony Edwards is. He is in Jaden McDaniels still. Now, I do think Anthony Edwards is a better post defender, but that's just because of his build and his athleticism. But Jaden McDaniels, I was very impressed. He impressed me. I got the second best impression from him. The first was obviously Anthony Edwards, but if I had to pick somebody else who impressed me as well, it would definitely be Jaden McDaniels. Carl had a game or two in there where he played alright, where he played pretty well, but Carl didn't really impress me until the Nuggets series, but we'll say that for another video. But yeah, this was very disappointing from a Suns perspective. Like, how the hell do you beat the Timberwolves 3 times in a regular season, and then as soon as you get to the postseason, you just can't stop them, and they're stopping you? So it was a very poor showing. Grayson Allen, where the hell did that guy go? I don't even know. But yeah, man. Alright, so now last but least, we got the LA Lakers and Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Hold on, y'all, I got some sweat in my eye. It's hot as hell in here. Alright, I'm back with Gucci. Yeah, this series, if I had to grade it, I think it was better than a C, but I can't give it an A. Is it a B? I'll give it a B. Yeah, I'll give it a B+. I'll give it a B or a B+ because a lot of the games were close, and it took a game. I think it was it 1 game winner or 2 game winners? It might have been 2 game winner, but I know for sure Jamal Murray had at least one a game winner or 2 in this series. So it was competitive. It was close. There were a few comebacks. I think they said the Lakers actually had the lead in the 4th quarter, like the start of the 4th quarter or second half after every game. I have to fact check that, but I know they blew a couple leads, so most of it is true. The talent on the court was elite still. Jamal Murray, LeBron, AD, Jokic, some solid role players. My takeaway from this is that Austin Reeves is freaking overrated, especially the way he was promoted by the NBA and by Lakers fans on the internet. They made it seem like this guy was a 20 points per game scorer, like he was a bona fide 3rd option. He's not that yet. He's so far from it. But yeah, I just don't think Austin Reeves is like that yet. I think he's very skilled. I think he can turn into a borderline all-star player, but not yet. And then another takeaway is just that LeBron James getting old, man. It's sinking in. He's old. He's very, very old. And what's noticeable is his lack of defensive effort consistently. But you can't blame him because, I mean, he's like 40. So that's what stood out to me from there. Next video, we're going to get into the Eastern Conference. We're going to talk about the whole first round. But yeah, so now that you guys have seen my recap and I graded every series from the West, let's get into the player of the round, and that is of course Anthony Edwards. If you're saying Anthony Edwards wasn't the star of the first round, you're a liar. You're a hater, or you're a liar, or you're a Shea fan. That's all it is. There's no other options. This man, like I said, the efficiency, the shot creation, the difficulty in matchups, like this was high diff. This was high diff. Good competition. He claimed the best shooting guard in the league. He was going up against a future Hall of Famer in KD. He did it all, man. He played over people's expectations. People were picking the Suns like me, and he just provided great plays. He was a good leader. Let's check out his stats real quick. 31, 8, and 6. Shea wished he could do that to KD. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I think the first matchup we're gonna discuss in my next video will be the Cavaliers versus Magic, Cavaliers. I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned.